Hello, hello, everybody, and happy Crafty Hour. I almost said welcome to 2. It's not what's new at 2. It's Crafty Hour. So let me go find our live. Oop, where's my comments? Okay, there we are. Welcome, everybody, and happy Crafty Hour Day. So it is time for Crafty Hour 58. We are playing with the fabulous AALL box set, where we added those 3 fabulous Tim Holtz stencils to the mix. So I hope you guys love this kit. Joe did some amazing stuff with it this morning. I knew she would. So I was really excited about that. If you missed out on Joe's Crafty Hour, make sure to go back and watch. It'll be on Clipper Street's page at 12 o'clock. And remember, we are downloading all of our Crafty Hours, so they will be easier to find now on our YouTube channel. So Deanna and I both have started a YouTube channel just for Crafty Hours. So you guys can go find them there. Easier, because sometimes people were having hard times finding them in the events. So first thing up is we're going to get inky. We're going to play with some techniques. We're going to play with some different products, and we're going to have a good time. So the first thing we're going to play with, actually, Ken, can you find me a shoebox and just put a little bit of water in it? Yeah, something a vessel that can hold water so I can put my dirty stencils in it. Oh, we got them both going. Brenda's first Crafty Hour. Welcome to Crafty Hour. So in your box set, you have the washi tapes. The washi tapes are really fun to play with because these are layering washi tape. Just don't worry about it. I'll hand you the stencils to clean off. The washi tapes are layering washi tapes. So there's 2 different ones in here. One of them is the cute little fox, and we're going to do that one. So when you lay them out, it makes these cute little images. The other one in here is the cute little notebook and stuff. I wanted to do stuff with all of them, but we just didn't have time. So we're going to play with one of those, and we're going to kind of get inky and painty and fun. So the first thing we're going to do is our messy stuff, because we need it to dry. So I had told everybody, and this is totally optional, grab what you have. If you don't have it, that's okay too. But I said to grab some black paint and some texture paste. Joe used the same exact texture paste this morning, and she used it with embossing powder, which is a fabulous way to use it. We are going to use it by coloring it. So we are actually going to color the paste. So what we're going to start with is kind of our background. So let me grab some papers out. They're not going to be the exact ones because we only have one of each. Dogs. I guess they could be dogs. I thought they were foxes. I don't know. So I'm just going to grab some backgrounds. This one is similar to that one. I love it. If you're an AALL fan, the 28th, which is in 2 days, Friday, is the next release, and we have it in store. It just arrived today. So we will have it in store for Friday. There is new papers and new dies and stuff and stamps that are fabulous. So you guys are going to want to make sure to tune in for those. Okay, so I'm going to use that paper for that one. I got to find something similar. Ooh, I like that one because it's bright. I got to find something. I don't have anything with a heart on it. That one's pretty, and really, it doesn't matter. Grab one. We're going to inky it. We're going to add stuff to it, so you're not even going to see it. I think I want that one. Ooh, I like that side. So I'm going to grab that one. I'm going to grab this one. And for the last one, I'm going to grab that bright one because I love how it sets off for those. So everything in this box kit is exclusive to this box kit. You cannot buy it individual. The box kits are limited edition, so when they are gone, they are gone. So what we're going to do is all of our fronts. Then when you're done, you guys can put them on your card bases, just mat them in black, and that's it. So I didn't really even put black cardstock on the list because I thought, well, that's something you guys can do later. It didn't really have to be done now. I kind of wanted to focus on doing your card fronts and doing all the techniques and stuff. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do some inky techniques. Because it's going to take a little longer to dry, we're going to do all the backgrounds and techniques first, lay them to the side, and then they'll probably be dry by the time we come back to them. So the first one we're going to do is we're going to grab our rose. We're going to do this one. In the background, we're going to do some painting. So what I did is you could just kind of run it off of there however you want. And I took a little, actually, nope, I lied. We're going to put our tape on first. Then I did the roses on top. So, psych. So grab your tape. I forgot we did that. Grab your tape. So on the tapes, what I like to do is I leave one of my sides on there. And this says what it is. It says Gear Hound. So that is my Gear Hound. I guess a hound is a dog, so maybe it is a dog. But with the AALLs, what I like to do is I like to pull them off, and you can kind of tell where the prints start to change. That's where you rip it. Now mine doesn't start with the top of the heads. So what I do is I just stick them very lightly on my non-stick sheet because I want to see what the design is and how big I need to build it on my paper. So I usually always just take them, I rip them, I put them on my non-stick sheet, and this is my little work surface because it is washi tape, so you can reposition it and you can move them. Okay, I'm gonna go right next to the heart. Okay, so there's my 3 pieces, or 4 pieces. So that kind of gives you an idea where we're going to kind of go, and I just kind of took it and kind of put them in the center. So we're going to start with the heads, and the background I used is not too dark, not too busy, because if you get too dark, you can't really see your washi tape designs. It kind of gets lost. So there, right there is what it looks like on white. And then of course it's going to look a little different on the colors. And I don't know how good I'm going to line these up, because to line these up, I almost need to stand above them. But if I do that, I'm going to put my big old noggin right in the view of the camera. Not too bad. I'm doing pretty good. Oh, thank you, Sandy. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I know it's a little earlier than normal, and maybe you guys like the earlier time. I don't know. Let me know. Earlier than normal because tomorrow is our Chit Chat and Cocktails for Maker Mania. So we couldn't do it on our normal Thursday night because we already have a prior commitment. And then I couldn't do it tonight because tonight is our final Maker Mania meeting and our normal Wednesday night Zoom meeting with our vendors. So I had to do it while I was still at the store before I go home. Okay, we're going to squirt out a little bit of black paint on the mat. If you don't have black paint, that's fine. Use black ink. Use your ink pad. Use whatever you have. That's why I was like, use what you have. You don't have to use exactly what I'm doing. Okay, I'm going to put a scratch piece. I'm going to move these guys out of the way because we'll come to those momentarily. I'm going to put a scratch piece of paper down. And I'm going to take my roses, and what I want to do is I want to build the roses here and build the roses here in the background, but I don't want to put it on top of my little doggies or foxes or whatever that is on their heads. I don't want to have it on their heads. So I'm just going to kind of go in here and position it because it's a layer. We're just building a layer. I have my paint here. I've got my little Tim Holtz blendy tool. And I'm just going to blendy, blendy, blendy. And then I'm going to go in here and then just in a swirly motion, I'm going to go, or you can dab, you can twist, however you want. I don't have a lot of paint on there. And just add that black paint through the stencil. Like I said, if you don't have paint, you can totally use a black ink pad, use your distress inks, your archival inks, use what you guys have. Just something in black to kind of go in and build those layers. And then we're just going to lift it. And then there is part of our layer. And it's part of the background. A background's a background because it's a background. So we're just building layers, building a background. Then we're going to go down here and do the same thing. I always do, if I do something at the top corner, then I always do something at the opposite corner. I always do things in opposite spots. Okay, I need some more paint. Let's see if I can hold my stencil, unscrew my lid with one hand, and squirt that on there. My blendy tool did not get cleaned off after I was done using it last time. So it's kind of hard as a rock. Be better than Kourtney. Clean your supplies. Okay, so we're just adding paint to our little stenciled areas. So stencils are great because you can, to me, they're a tool. You can use over and over and over, and you can build backgrounds and you can build stuff. So you can use your inks, your paints, your sprays. Here, will you rinse that off and dry it? You can use whatever you want. So there is the first one where we just used the roses. We used our paint through our blendy tool, and that's our first background. So we're going to set him to the side and we're going to let him dry. Our second background, we're going to do this stencil here, and then we're going to do this stencil here. And these we are going to do with the stencil paste, and we're going to color it. We're going to color it. I love this paste. I think this paste is amazing. I love stencils. The stencil set, I know Jo said how much she loved the stencil set too. It is, it's great. So I'm going to put a little bit more black paint onto my palette. And then I'm going to grab my paste out and a palette knife. I got like a box of tricks over here. I tried to grab everything from home and make sure I had it. Sometimes it's easier if you just lay it on the bottom of the sink and then you can scrub it without roughing up too much. Okay, so I'm going to grab my stencil paste out and I'm just going to take a little bit. Doesn't take a lot. And we're going to mix it. And you can always mix more because we're mixing colors, and we're just mixing it with an acrylic paint. You can mix them with like your Lindy stamp gangs, your powders, your acrylic paints, your distress reinkers, your oxide reinkers. You can mix and color your paste any color you want, which is fabulous too. If you can't find the perfect color or you need to make your own custom color, that's all you do. Just mix it. All right, so there's that. We're going to grab this one, the bluish one, and then we're going to grab this corner stencil. I just loved this stencil, and I kind of find it easier if I swipe right-handed. And then I have a little bit of stencil tape, so I'm going to tape those on. I need it dried off, and then I need to reuse that one. Okay, so we're just going to take our paste, and then we're just going to swipe it in a motion. You don't want to go over it too many times, because if you go over it too many times and you lift in the middle of your stencil, that's when you risk lifting your stencil and then your stuff goes underneath it and then you don't have a crisp image. Evidently, I didn't mix enough. See, and the first time I did it, I mixed enough to probably paint the side of my house. Thanks. And look, I tell you not to go over it 100 times, and what do? Because I didn't mix enough. Okay. Then we are just going to lift and reveal. Oh, is that not gorgeous? I love this one. Yes, if you have black texture paste, by all means, grab the black texture paste and use it. I just figured probably a majority of people probably wouldn't have black texture paste. So this was a way to kind of color it and make your own. Here's another one to clean off. So that is a way to kind of custom make your own. I got to mix more because we're now going to do the paste also with the roses. So I need to find a clean palette knife because I don't want to put a dirty one in my thing, or I'm just going to have to clean this one. Now at home, I'll just have to clean this knife off. At home, I have a bucket of lots of knives. So I just grab another knife, but here I'm just going to have to clean this off and go back in and get some more paste. So I'm going to mix a little bit more for my second stencil. Yeah, if you guys use what you guys have, if you have a different color, let's say you have gold or copper or bronze or something metallic, use that. That'd be gorgeous too. Ooh, alcohol ink with paste. Now, Vicki, I have not tried that. I'm not sure. I don't see why you couldn't, because I don't know if it would dry too fast. I don't know. That I don't know. All of these other items we're using are kind of more of a water base, and that's an alcohol base. So you could give it a try and let me know what happens. Okay, so I'm just mixing up a little bit more, and this time I know I mixed way too much. This is what we do. We mix too much, we mix not enough. Okay, we're grabbing our other background, and I think, like, what do I want in my open space? Oh, that actually has hearts on it, and I don't want the hearts upside down. Nope, I'm going that way. My hearts are going to be upside down. So again, we're going to put the roses over here. Did that have black on it? Yeah, where did I get that? Pick that up from. Oh, hot mess, hot mess. That's okay. It's a background. Yours needs to have a custom fingerprint on it too. Okay, so we're going to take that, and then we're just going to take our paste, and then we're just going to swipe the roses. And you know what? I'm just going to mask that off a little bit so I don't accidentally get in the wrong spot. And we're just taking that paste, and we're now swiping the roses. Kind of puts the Alice in Wonderland in my head. Painting the roses red. Only we're painting our roses black. Oh, so when I'm doing this by myself at home, what I have is like a dirty, I call it a stencil bath, a dirty wash tub. And it usually is, I think I want to do this one over here. So what I do is it's just water. It's just water. And as long as your stencils and your brushes and whatever you put in there stays wet and submerged, you can leave them in there for a while. You don't have to worry about it. As long as the stencils are wet, you're fine. I took classes all day yesterday. I started at 10 o'clock. I had my little stencil bath underneath the table. And whenever I was done with the stencil, I threw it in the bath. And then when we were done with classes for the day at 6 o'clock, I cleaned all my stencils. So as long as it's submerged in wet, you guys are fine. And it's just water. I don't put soap or anything in there, just water. And then usually what I do is I'll hold my stencils on the bottom and take like a scrub brush and just very lightly in a circular motion kind of clean them off. Here you go, Ken. Okay, so these guys we're going to set to dry. We have the roses with the paste. We have this guy with the paste, and we are just going to set them to the side to let them dry. Okay, let me try zooming out a little bit. It zoomed me in really far because I have a lot of junk on my table. And you know what? I think the camera keeps lowering itself. This one isn't as tight as the camera stand that I have at home. Okay. So I always make sure to immediately clean it off my tools. I don't want paste to dry on my tools because then you can't get it off. So clean your tools off. And normally I would take this paste and apply it to something else, but right now we're just going to kind of clean it off. Some of the black off my hands. Just lay it flat in the sink. Just take this guy and just very lightly. a stencil bass at home. Okay, so that's that. Those are those parts. This is still kind of drying. We've got a little bit of wetness in there. So I'm just going to set him to the side too, and we'll come back to him in a second. Missed. Okay, next thing we're going to do is some embossing powders. I kind of love the grunginess of this, of these whole kit and stuff. So I really wanted to add a lot of techniques and add a lot of stuff into it. Oh my gosh, this camera has a mind of its own. It's like, sorry guys, twisting, moving, dropping. So there's that. In the thing I told you to, oh my gosh, that's bent. I'm obsessed with that Polaroid die right now from Spellbinders. If you don't have a Polaroid die, it's okay. You can just cut a rectangle with a square in the center of it. So this is 3 by, we'll say 4, and then the square in the center is like 2.5 by 2.5. If you're in Makermania, this is part of your Makermania kit. That item was in there. Okay, grabbing another scrap piece of paper so you guys can see on there. So the next thing we're going to do is grab this stencil. I love the circles, the dots, the dashes, all this stuff on here. Was really fun to play with. So what I want to do is play with embossing inks on here. So I just grabbed my metallic. It's gold rich. It's called Ultra High. So there are different types of embossing powders. There's not a wrong or right. Use, again, whatever you have. And this one is chunky. So when they say ultra high, see how chunky it is? Some companies call it UTEE, U-T-E-E. It's just a really thick embossing powder. If you don't have a thick embossing powder, that's okay. Use, again, whatever you have. But what I want to do is I took this stencil, and I love the X's. I thought those were fun, the little X's. And I'm just going to take my clear ink pad. Again, this is the Wow embossing ink pad. I think they have the best sticky ink pad ever. Taking a little blending tool. I'm just putting the ink on there. And then just in a little quick swirly motion, that's all it takes. Swirl, swirl, swirl. I applied the ink. So now my embossing powder is going to stick wherever that ink is. Okay, and then I just use a coffee filter. One thing I learned taking classes with Wow Embossing is they said never use those plastic glitter trays. The plastic glitter trays add static electricity to your powders. The powders are anti-static, and by doing that, it adds it. Okay, I'm just kind of heating up my heat tool. And then I know Joe kind of showed you the same thing. Kind of go from below to kind of get it going. And that will keep it from blowing your powder all over the place. It kind of heats it up. So I'm just going from below to kind of heat it. And then once it starts rocking and rolling, then you can kind of hit it from the top. But also what I'm doing, if you notice that, was I was hitting my pot of powder underneath. That wasn't smart. And then I love to watch embossing powder melt. It's just fabulous, isn't it? It's fun to melt. So the next thing I did, you can take either your ink pad or your blending tool, whatever you want. Oop, that was still hot and wet. Let me remelt that because it has a fingerprint in it now. And another thing about the chunky powders, see how it blobs? The chunky powders are very thick. So when they melt, they pretty much blob. So you're not going to have that really fine detailed image. It's great for techniques. It's great for mixed media, but it's not good for sentiment stamping. If you want to stamp a sentiment, it says Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays or something, it's just going to blob and you're not going to be able to read it. So the UTEEs are not really for cute little sentiment stamps. Okay, once it's dry, you can then take your ink pad and rub your ink pad on there, or take your blending tool and just randomly rub some more ink on it. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding a gold edge to this. And then I've got my coffee filter that I can work in, or I can keep pouring my powder, kind of knock it off. But what we're going to be doing is building kind of a cool golden distressed frame. Okay, so we're kind of doing all about techniques. And see how it just kind of blobs on the edge and it just kind of builds some really cool layers. I love to do this in my art journals. I love to do this on my cards. I love to just give it that blobby kind of mercury, almost like a mercury image. I like to do it on my embellishments and stuff too. So here's just happen to have it sitting in front of me. Here's a card I did where I did the same technique and I did it along the edges of my die cuts and along the edges of my embellishments. And it gives it that cool mixed media worn kind of look. Same thing, just going in, inking the edge of it. You can rub it directly into your ink pad. You can use your blending tool if you want to be a little bit more controlled with it. We got that route. And then we're just going to add our powder on there. All right, so I hope you guys are crafting along. You getting to craft along? I know some of you guys are probably at work still. Let me know if the new time works for you or if not. I know Clipper Street does theirs during the day at noon. Like I said, we're kind of doing it at 5 o'clock because Maker Mania starts tomorrow. And normally Thursdays are our crafty hour nights, but we got Maker Mania going on. Okay, so there's our frame. Isn't that cute? Isn't that cute? Super cute. Oh, I hope I have pop dots here. Okay, so there's that. And then we're going to do the same thing to our outer edge. So the one that has the foxes on it with the paint, we're going to do the same thing. So you can add your ink on. I usually do 2 sides at a time. I don't try to do the whole thing at once because that's usually when I end up knocking it off onto myself or something else. And you don't want it perfect. You want to have some chunky edges. You want to have some fine edges. And if you feel like you have too much on it, then just rub your finger on it and you can rub it off. Okay, so then we're going to heat that. I know it was tight to fit Deanna in, but I couldn't do it at 6 o'clock because the store closes at 6 and my next meeting starts at 7. So we're trying to squeeze it. So we'll probably stick to Thursdays at 7 o'clock. I was just trying to squeeze things in today. Tell me it's been a crazy day today. I know you guys saw our post. Crazy day today. I had a meeting at 10 o'clock. We had the class announcement at 11 o'clock. We had crafty hour at 12 o'clock. We had what's new at 2 o'clock. And then crafty hour at 5 o'clock. It was a crazy day today. And then I have 2 meetings tonight. So never a dull moment. And in between that, we are downloading videos and adding them to our pages and classes. Because who knows what Facebook's going to do. Okay, so let me heat that up. So this will be the end of the embossing powder. So once you have this done, the embossing powder's done. So then we can clean that up. I need to find a drink of water. All right, how many of you played with ultra thick embossing powders? Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool how it just gives it a fun kind of edge, border, mixed media look? Now, you can do that with any of your embossing powders. It's fun to do on cards. It's fun to do on embellishments like I showed you. Also do in your art journals, all that stuff. All those items you can do that. So I'm just cleaning up my embossing powder because we are done with the embossing powder, done with the ink. Okay, so let me clean off. See, does everybody else make a big mess like I do? I don't want that all over the floor. Yep. Scruffy, we don't need to bark. It's quiet hour. It's quiet hour, Papa. No, it's quiet hour. Mama's teaching. Okay, so we got that done. What we're going to do is we're going to go back to, and then I would clean this off to your stencil. Not as quick, not an emergency that you have to clean it off, but that does have the sticky on it. So I usually take a dry towel and kind of wipe off that embossing ink because it is a little tacky or sticky, and usually that cleans it off. If it's still tacky, you can use your stamp cleaners, just spray it with that, and that'll bring it off too. Okay, so we got our card here, and you guys can mat it on a piece of black paper later. I thought we'd just kind of focus on the techniques and what we're doing. I actually think I'm going to add mine maybe to a mixed media page or a journal later on. Where's my foamies? Ew, why is that all sticky? So this is what happens when you're crafting at the store and not at home. Hold on, I gotta go purchase some foam dots. Okay, add that to my tab. So I've got the foam strips. I love the foam strips. They just work perfectly for the back of these. So I'm going to put it on the back of the frame. And these are by 3L. They're scrapbook adhesive. And we're just going to put a strip down the side. And then we'll take our scissors and just snip that. And what did I do with those scissors, Ken? I think I put them up front. The Tim Holtz ones. I had them in my hand. Are there any scissors over there? Oh my gosh. I can't craft at the store anymore because I don't have any product here. I think they're up by the cash register.
Can sell you some scissors.
Right? Okay, so we're running that around there. Ken's went to go get my scissors. I was using them to cut boxes open this morning. And we're going to put foam tape all the way around that, and then we're going to pop it. And I guess while he's grabbing my scissors, we can dig in our little ephemeras. In the ephemeras, there's no right or wrong. There was a lot of ephemera in here. There was, when I first looked at the front of the package, I thought, oh no, we're going to have to fight over ephemeral. Not very many good ones in there. And then when I dumped it, I was like, oh no, we're not. There's plenty in there. There are plenty of ephemeras. So just putting the foam tape around the outside edge of it. And then we're going to pop that on our card. And like I said, you could add it on a card front later, or you could put it in a scrapbook page or something else later. Okay. I know, right? I love the little skinny ones, Sharon. No more having to cut them down or get sticky all over your scissors. I think these long strips are my most used size now. I absolutely love them. Because then everything passes what I call the squish test. Squish test. Okay, then we're just going to kind of put that on there. How are we doing on time? Oh my gosh, we're taking up a lot of time. That's okay. The next ones will be quicker. Okay, so then we'll just put our little frame on there. And how cute is that little Polaroid? So if you're in Makermania, like I said, that's going to be in your Makermania kit. If not, it is available for purchase. It is one of them that is from the Classic Pooh Spellbinder set that they did that has that Polaroid frame with it. Then we're just going to embellish it. I might as well dump everything out here, and we're going to add a little heart there. And I use some of the same ones, so And I know Joe said the same thing too. I didn't like it when some of these had the white on there. So my original one, I took the scissors and I snipped that because that bothered me. It was too clean, right? So we'll just kind of snip off that white stuff. Just snip it all off. So I just dug out a heart. I dug the kiss. Here's the other one that I did. So if you want to do exactly the same, but there's only one of each item in there. So I'm just picking out a different color palette. The envelopes we'll need later. So I'm just kind of putting some envelopes to the side. But again, no right or wrong. And aren't these adorable? Like, they're so cute. So cute. You see that? That's enough glue to... Okay, so I'm just going to glue the heart kind of on the frame at an angle. And then the word kiss, we're just going to pop that up. And I'm just going to kind of cut my strips really quick since I don't have my little squares. Just kind of randomly put them on, and we're going to pop that. Oh yes, a shaker with the frame would totally be adorable. You could totally do that too. Put some acetate on there, add some little Ghibli bits behind it. Absolutely. All right, so then we're going to pop that there. Okay, so there's kind of our two versions of that. And then I put some little hearts up at the top too, so let's find some that kind of match. That one's too big. Okay, I'm going to use that little red heart. Okay, there's that one. And then I got a little heart. And that little heart will just glue right there. Okay, so there's our two different versions. And then this one, I just edged it in black. So I just kind of put black cardstock around the outside of it, and it just kind of made those pieces pop. And see how cute that is? And I love the little frame. I hope you guys enjoying the techniques. I tried to put, when I do mixed media, and these are, to me, screamed mixed media. To me, mixed media is all about techniques. And I really wanted to get some techniques in there for you guys, instead of just gluing ephemera pieces down. Okay, so here's our other one. I'm not sure. It's still kind of wet. So I'm just going to kind of keep my hand out of it. And keep working with it wet because I don't want to run out of time. So for this one, what I did is I grabbed the envelopes, and we're just going to kind of take and stack some cute little envelopes and then put a critter on top because, well, why not? And then I did put the love down below because that kind of matched it. But again, I took my scissors and I cut out this white part because that white part to me just kind of bothered me. Thank you, Katie. I know, I just love the Yudi. It just kind of adds something. I used gold, but of course you could use, you could use silver, you could use copper, you could use bronze, black, white, use whatever you want. I know Jo did a fun technique where she put the stencil paste down and then stuck the embossing powder to the stencil paste. That's fun to do too. And you can do that with the ultra thick powders, and it'll give you a completely different look from the thinner powders. So just kind of play with them and have fun. Okay, so I think these are our envelopes. Here's the other one there, so you can kind of see what I did. So I kind of went in and I glued some of them flat, and then I went in and popped other ones. Okay, I'm not going to lie. I probably have not crafted at the store or used this stuff in 3 or 4 years. So everything is not cooperating. Or not here. I better have my A game up for Makermania. Better make sure I have the right products, because I do that again. My craft room, I know where everything is, and I know that everything works. Okay, and then we're just going to take the envelopes and just kind of stack them. And maybe some of them are flat, maybe some of them are popped. Maybe we just kind of build some layers. We start with the biggest ones at the bottom. Coco is rubbing on my feet, wanting some lovin's. She's like, why are you ignoring me again, Mom? Okay, so we're just going to kind of stack our little letters, and then we're going to find a critter to put on top. I kind of feel like we need a cat on this one. So we did a cat on the other. Oh, but look at that dog. I like the turquoise dog. Again, no right or wrong. I think we're going to put a kitty on this one. So if you guys are just joining in, this is Crafty Hour 58. So thank you for tuning in and joining us. We're playing with the new AALL box set. This is something new that they've come out and done. Everything in the set is exclusive to that box set. You get a pack of ephemera, a pack of paper, and 2 of the fabulous layering tapes. And I saw over in the Crafty Hour Creations group that some of you guys already busted open your pack and was creating and playing with it, which I love that. I'm glad to inspired you and gave you ideas to start creating with it in advance. So make sure you join our private group, Crafty Hour Creations. And you guys are more than welcome to post all your creations. We cannot wait to see what you guys come up with this box set. And then there was the add-on set too that had 2 other additional exclusive washi tapes, a paper, and ephemera. And then don't forget the new release will be here on Friday. I just love everything this company's come out with. Isn't that cute? Okay, so there's 2 different versions. One with the little puppy, one with the little kitty. We did our stenciling in the background. And then once it's dry, you guys will just mat it onto a black cardstock or card front, card base. So you have that. Okay, and it looks like we got 15 minutes. We are good. We are doing great on time. So there's the last one. And I was going kind of fast, thinking we weren't going to get done, but we're going to be fine. Okay, so here's our other one. And you know what? Since we have time, I'm going to go ahead and try to dry it so it lays a little bit flatter. And you can hit it from the front, and then you can hit it from the back, and that kind of helps. You'll notice the paper kind of moves and forms and curls because a portion of it's still wet and the other portion's dry. Now, if you want, you can bubble your paste. So I'm going to get it really hot in this one area. And can you see how it's bubbling it when it's wet? So that kind of gives it a cool effect also. See how it's puffing? So now I got to puff the other side to make it match. You can bubble your paste. You can bubble your, and it's because it's still wet. Part of the paste is still wet. Once the paste is dry, it won't do the bubbling anymore, but that kind of gives it a cool puffy technique too. Oops, I just blew my ephemera. Can you see how it puffed? That kind of gives it a cool effect also. I know. Tammy said, I added the cat for you, Tammy, just for you. Should have a cat. Okay, so now we've got this paper. And we're going to need a heart to go up on the top. And I was trying to decide, let's see what we got. So we did 2 puppies. I did the larger puppy with hugs. Let's see if there's anything else that is larger. Do we have 2 cats that match? Maybe we put a Siamese. Do we have another Siamese? Or do we do them like this? So they're kissing? Kissing cats? Do cats kiss? Oh, I know they fight. I know they fight. I did like the hugs. So we're going to grab the hugs out. We've got some more hearts in here. My original one has the heart printed in the background. But there's lots of ephemera in here, so dig out and use, oh, there's more envelopes. I could have stacked more. Use whatever you want. I don't know, I think the dogs just look cuter on there. Or do we have the kitty? Oh, maybe we do the kitties hugging. I think I need bigger kitties though. The kitties hugging with hugs. Do we have big kitties? No. We have little kitties. Oh, I think Joe used the kitties, so we better not use kitties. I think Joe used those. Now, I like those. Those 2 puppies are cute. And then we'll put the stuff in between those. Again, there's no right or wrong, and we cannot wait to see what you guys come up with. So the next Crafty Hour will, usually we go live with our next Crafty Hours on Friday at 11 o'clock. But since we have Maker Mania on Friday, we will be going live with Crafty Hour 60 tomorrow at 11 o'clock. 60, can you believe that? 60. Crafty Hour 60. We will be going live with that tomorrow at 11 o'clock. I don't know if Deanna created the event or not. I already sent her the image. So there will be an event that you guys can click that you're attending. That way you'll get the notification from Facebook for that. Okay, got the 2 doggies looking at each other. Actually, the 2 doggies are looking at the heart because they're in love. I didn't leave room for my sentiment, did I? I was looking for a blue heart. Did I use the blue hearts? Nope, that fits right there. I like that with that. Or we could put it up here. Nope, I like it crisscrossing on the dogs. Kind of like how I did on the other one. So I hope you guys had some fun. I hope you got to play with some paste, learn some new techniques. Stencil paste is great. Stencils are great because stencils are a tool. You can use embossing powders. You can use your inks, your markers, your paste. There's so much that you can do with stencils to build backgrounds, to build interest, to build texture onto your cards and backgrounds. You can use them in your scrapbooks, your mixed medias, your art journals, your cards. You can kind of use them wherever you want. They are very versatile. So I hope you look at those items kind of in a new look for them. Oh, there is a teal heart. That's what I was looking for right there. On that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you got to craft along a little bit. And then I will bring in all the finished cards in here in one sec so you can see those. Okay, so let me move my ephemera out. Let's roll out. On those. So we've got a couple different versions. There's those two. We've got those two. And then our kissing foxes. And then don't forget your washi tapes. These are the 2 layering washi tapes that are in your kits. I always kind of lay one out so I know what they look like. And you can see what's in that set. And this was Crafty Hour 58 with this box set. We do still have 2 of these box sets in stock if you guys haven't had a chance to grab them yet. They are called Treasure Trove. So thank you so much, guys, for tuning in for Crafty Hour 58. I hope you had a great time. I hope you had fun crafting along and learning some new techniques. And we will see everybody tomorrow at 11 o'clock when we announce the next Crafty Hour. So have a fabulous night, everybody. And as always, happy crafting. Bye-bye.